Hey guys, this is Hamid, author of the book 7-Figure Agency Mindset A to Z. Out of the book, today I'm going to discuss a very important chapter of my book, which is about retention of employees. So chapter number 27 of the book says how to retain employees or employees retention. I know that you guys have been facing a lot of issues while retaining the employees. I get a lot of messages in my community, in my inbox about, hey Hamid, how to retain employees. I'm not able to retain my employees. My employees are demanding a lot. I've got a very high turnover in my agency. So I'm going to tell you a few tricks today. There will be a few questions and I will explain that to you from the book. And if you answer those questions, you should be able to understand why employees leave and what you're actually not doing to have them stay in your agency. So the question number one to ask is about expectations. Am I giving the clear expectations to all of my employees about what roles they have to perform, what KPIs they have to achieve? So a lot of expectations hurt when there is no hierarchy. A lot of expectations hurt when your employees are not aware of the KPIs. So as soon as your employees are onboarded, you should give them, okay, who is supervising you, who you will be reporting to, what you have to complete by the end of the day, what you have to complete by the end of the week or end of the month or end of the quarter or end of the year. All of these things needs to be considered and should be communicated with your employees so that you have a number to achieve, your employees have a number to achieve, and you can benchmark the performance of your employees with that number and the expectations are clear. Another very important factor is about recognition and providing the feedback to your employees. So out of, let's say, 100 employees in your agency, you have to find out who are the best employees. But how are you going to do that? Once they have the number assigned, and once you see that someone is performing really good at even meeting those numbers or exceeding the expectations. So do not forget to provide the feedback to your employees. If they're exceeding that number, they should be recognized. And if they're not able to achieve those numbers, they're below the expectations, you must provide the feedback so that they actually get to know that what are the problems they have, what are the issues they have, and you have a chance to communicate those issues with your employees. Because if you don't discuss those issues with your employees, then they're gonna gather up with the rest of the time, with the passage of the time they're spending in your office, and probably it's gonna create more frustration among you and your employees. One of the major factors is about the growth opportunities and career development inside your agency. So whoever is joining your team, whoever is joining your agency, he has one thing in his or her mind, which is he going to be given career development opportunities? He has to assess himself, okay, if I'm joining as of today, what I will be doing after 6 months? Where will I be after 1 year? Where I will be standing after 2 years? Will I have career and growth opportunities? Will I be promoted becoming assistant manager or the director or maybe the country head? And what are the years required to achieve that? So your employees should be given a complete roadmap and information about how you could achieve the next promotions in your office, and they should be given clear roadmap of having the right career development in your agency. Another very important factor is about taking the feedback and addressing their concerns. As I mentioned before as well, that any problems that your employees have, they should have an open communication either with you or if you have set up the hierarchy with your human resource team, and they should be able to communicate with them, meet with them by just sending an email, hey, I want to discuss an XYZ issue which I'm facing today. Because if you don't listen to them, then a lot of frustration will again compile up and it could end up in termination of the job, resignation of the job. So it is very important to listen to your employees, what they have to say, what they have in mind, and keep addressing those issues as much as possible to meet the expectations of your employees, just like you meet the expectations of your clients. One of the reasons your employees stay with you And one of the major reason is about the compensation, the pay, the benefits. So you have to keep on benchmarking maybe similar other organizations or better organizations. Am I paying a competitive pay or compensation to my employees as a monthly salary? Am I giving the better benefits? Am I rewarding my employees with some bonuses? Because your employees might love anything which is beyond their normal compensation as well. So do not forget to actually meet those benchmarks, which could be healthcare facilities, which could be even mobile phone allowance, which could be the bonus that they get after meeting or exceeding certain percentage. And even myself, in my agency, I have a variable pay and commission percentage mechanism, which I want to pay that to my employees so that once they get their compensation or the pay, they always have something more in their salaries because they're doing a great job. A very important factor is about being valued and respected in your organization. Especially if you are fetching the employees from larger organizations. If you're having them to work in your organization, then the very, very important factor is about respect and respectful behaviors between your organization, by the supervisor, by the AM, by the manager, by the boss itself, by the peers, and by the juniors as well. So make sure that your human resource team, make sure your people managers are aware of the right ways to communicate with the respectful behaviors, and your employees should feel very valued. Okay, they are being appreciated. They are working in a very cool environment, and they're making sure that, okay, when I have to work, I can work in a very flexible environment. I feel valued. I feel respected. I feel cool. I want to work in my office, and they should not feel that, hey, I don't want to go to the work because it's a very negative environment. You have to make sure that you're giving a very, very cool environment in your office for them to stay with you. Another important factor is about providing the resources to your employees for them to become successful. You're not only going to think about how to make your client successful because you make money with them. You have to find a way that how to make your employees successful as well. The reason being is that they should be given the right resources. They should be given the right methodologies and probably standard operating procedures, blueprints for them to perform the job. If you want them to work on a project and it's a complex project, very systematic one, and you're just asking them to be organized because you're supposed to be organized, I think that's not going to work. You should give them the right documents, procedures, blueprints, and everything that they need to perform their duties. Maybe a project management system, maybe a Slack channel, maybe a Skype group, or anything which can make them organized, where they feel that they're getting and fetching the knowledge from any XYZ resources for them to perform their job really good. Another important factor is about your management style. So it could be a little bit different than your peers. Your peers may not like how you like to manage. So you should have the ability to communicate your management style with your employees in such a way that they should be able to accept it. They should be able to take it, perform the work on it, and should be able to deliver the deliveries. And that is very important because if you try to force your management style to your employees and they don't like it, it could create a lot of frustration. So they should find a way, find a middle way, communicate with them, tell them why you want to drive the project or why you want to drive the team in such a way so that you want to see everyone winning in the team, the project winning, and eventually your organization grows as well. So just make sure that your management style is being accepted among your team members as well. An important thing to be recognized is about balancing the work and life balance itself. I know the techies are nerds sometimes. They want to work a lot day and night to meet the project deadlines, which is great. You have to be extremely knowledgeable. You have to make sure that you're committing the deadlines and you're completing the deadlines as well. However, you just have to understand the factor that you're working with humans, and you have to provide the right work-life balance to your team members as well, to your employees, for them to actually enjoy their real life as well. They can enjoy their weekends, they can enjoy after hours. They should be given the opportunities to take a breathe, to think about it, to have good time with their families. So just make sure that you're not taking humans or your employees as robots. They need air to breathe. They should be given good work-life balance for them to retain in your office. An important factor is about maintaining the clear channels of communication for the transparency as well. So let's say you're working on 10 different projects or 5 different projects and you have to report. So there has to be a very systematic way of managing the project where your team members can actually go ahead and give you the report, which could be an Excel file, which could be towards maybe leaving a message in the Slack or in the Basecamp towards the end of the day, or any project management channel that you are using to actually communicate with each other. So your employees should be given the right channels of communication to communicate with you, to show their transparency to you as well, just to make sure that they're doing a good job. And finally, and importantly, if there are any issues within your team, which could happen because you're working with humans, you should be able to involve yourself, listen to everyone, provide the solution, and see how these things can be improved in the future. So by combining everything what I said, if you implement all those policies, if you answer those questions within your organizations, I'm pretty sure that you should be able to retain your employees for a longer term, or maybe for a decade or more. So let's work on these channels which I explained today. Share with other agency owners so they should be thriving as well. And do not forget to actually go ahead and subscribe my channel, notify yourself. I share my valuable time for you guys so that you guys can thrive in your agencies. And I want to make sure that you guys get to the 7 figures and beyond very soon. For the next time, please catch up 7-figure agency mindset at YouTube. Do not forget to share among your friends.